In our previous session, we solved multiple choice questions from straight lines in 2 dimensions, and today we are going to solve the MCQs from the next chapter, that is circles. Okay, we will start with our first MCQ. Question 1. Equation of a circle which passes through 3, 6 and touches the axis is. Now what do we mean by a circle touching the axis? Both of them, x as well as y, both these axes are tangents to the circle. Okay, and we have 4 options: A, B, C and D. In A we have x squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 6y plus 3 equal to 0. In B we have minus 6x minus 6y minus 9. In C we have minus 6x minus 6y plus 9. And in D we have minus 6x plus 6y minus 3. Okay. Now the last part in the statement of the problem is extremely important. Touches the axis. Okay. If the circle touches both the coordinate axes, it implies that the modulus of g is equal to modulus of f equal to the radius of the circle. And what are g and f? If the equation of the circle is in the form x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0, then 2g is the coefficient of x and 2f is the coefficient of y. Okay, now how can I directly say that if a circle touches the coordinate axis, then mod of g is equal to mod of f equal to the radius? You can see that here in this figure. Okay, this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. It is important to note that our circle is touching both the axes. Okay, so when a circle touches both the coordinate axes at the same time, if its center lies in the first quadrant, then it must be on the line y equal to x. Correct? Because length of perpendicular drawn from the center of the circle on the tangent should be equal to the radius. Yes, this is what you learned in the school. Okay, so if this is equal to r and this is equal to r, what are the coordinates of the center of this circle? X comma y. So clearly x equals r and y also equals r. Now how do we find out the coordinates of the center of the circle? From its general equation minus g comma minus f, and that is why I have taken modulus. Okay, so if such a circle exists in the second quadrant, then its x coordinate will be negative. Yes, but its y coordinate will be positive. So in such a case, the x coordinate will be equal to negative r, where r is the radius, and y coordinate will be equal to positive r. In the third quadrant, both coordinates are negative, so negative r comma negative r. And in the fourth quadrant, x is positive and y coordinate is negative. Okay, so either the center of the circle will lie on the line y equal to x, or on the line y equal to minus x, or x equal to y, or x equal to minus y. Okay, this is the first important result that we are going to use to solve the problem. Okay, so when the set touches the axis, this figure is what should come to your mind. Okay, this particular figure. The other thing about this MCQ is the circle passes through the point 3, 6. Okay, now from this figure you can easily see that if the center of the circle lies in the second quadrant, entire circle lies in the second quadrant. Same with the circle in the third and the circle in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so entire circle is contained by that quadrant in which the center of the circle lies. Okay, now in the problem they are saying that the circle passes through 3, 6. Okay, now what point is 3, 6? 3, 6 is a point which lies in the first quadrant. Yes. So if we have a point in the first quadrant, which means the center of the circle should also lie in the first quadrant. Okay, that is another important conclusion that we have drawn. Okay, first one was the center of the circle should either be on x equal to y or x equal to minus y because the circle touches the axis. And second conclusion is if it passes through a point in the first quadrant, then the entire circle including its center will be in the first quadrant. Okay, now this will help us in eliminating the options. How? Look at option A. Here the center of the circle is at minus 3, minus 3. Okay, because 2g is 6 and 2f is also 6. And if you look at option D, then the coordinates of the center of the circle are 3, minus 3. So for option A, the center is negative 3, negative 3, and for option D, it is 3, minus 3. Are these points located in the first quadrant? No. So definitely it is not A and not D. So either option B or option C. Okay, so because the circle passes through 3, 6, center of the circle must be in the first quadrant, and we checked that options A and D represent circles whose centers do not lie in the first quadrant, so it is either B or C. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to find the radius of the circle. Okay, we already know that in options B and C, the center of the circle or center of the circles, now we should say, is the point 3, 3. But as per this property, mod of G equal to mod of F, and both of them should be equal to the radius of the circle. So among or between the options B and C, we should pick that option or that circle whose radius is equal to 3. Okay, because both the x and y coordinates of the center are 3. Okay, so I have done it for B. Let us see. For option B, negative g is 3 and negative f is, okay, negative g is 3 and negative f is also 3. Now what is C, the constant term in option B? C is negative 9. How do we find the radius of any circle from its general form? The radius of the circle is root of g squared plus f squared minus c. Okay, so g squared is 9, f squared is 9, and they are saying minus c, or the formula says minus c, but c itself is negative 9 in option B. So it is going to be 9 plus 9 plus 9. Yes. So this will be equal to 27, not 18, sorry. And root of 27 is equal to 3 root 3. Okay, is it equal to 3, the radius of the circle? No, it is not equal to 3, so option C. Correct. Which fact did we use here? We used this fact. If a circle touches the coordinate axis, then modulus of the x coordinate of the center of the circle and or as well as modulus of the y coordinate of the center of the circle, both are equal, and each one of them is also equal to the radius of the circle. Correct. We can verify our result graphically. That is what I have done here. The circle in option C is x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 6y plus 9 equal to 0. So negative 6x, negative 6y. The only difference between this and the option B is, in option B we have minus 9, here we have plus 9. Okay, you can see that the center of the circle is at the point 3, 3, and the point given in the problem 3, 6 lies on the circle. Okay. So we have completed the first MCQ. Let's go to the second. Yeah, in fact, I want to tell you one more thing about the first problem. Did you observe that the x coordinate of the point given in the problem and the x coordinate of the center of the circle both are identical? Yes, both are equal to 3. So how far is this point, let's call it A, from the center of the circle? The distance between these 2 points is going to be the mod of the difference between the y coordinates. Yes, 3 units. So we automatically got the radius of the circle, correct? Simply because the circle was touching both the axes, and if this is our center of the circle, the point 3, 6 lies here. Okay, fine. This one. This line is y equal to 6. This line is y equal to 3. So clearly the distance, the perpendicular distance between them will be equal to 3 units, that is the radius of the circle. Now let's go to the next MCQ. Question 2. If the lines 2x minus 3y equal to 5 and 3x minus 4y equal to 7 are the diameters of a circle of area 154 square units, then find the equation of the circle. There are 4 options available. Option A, x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 2y equal to 40. In B we have minus 2x minus 2y 47. In C we have minus 2x plus 2y equal to 47. And in D we have minus 2x minus 2y and the constant term is negative 40. First thing that we notice, the area of the circle. Area of the circle is given as 154 square units, and we observe that 154 is actually the product of 22 and 7. So we are going to make use of this approximate value of pi which you were using in the school. Okay, that was 22 by 7. This is approximate value of pi, not the exact value of pi, and from this we can easily find the radius of the circle. All of us know that area of circle is pi r squared. In this problem it is 154, so you can easily simplify this and check that the radius of the circle is indeed 7 units. Okay, then what I have done is, in the first method that I have used to solve this problem, I have checked what the radius of circle in A, B, C and D is. Okay, so for option A as well as options B, C and D, you may have observed this, that mod of G and mod of F, everything is equal to 1. Correct, the modulus part. So when we talk about G squared plus F squared, that is going to be 2. Correct? Yes. But now we are interested in that circle whose radius is equal to 7 units. Let us try to find the radius of the circle in option A. Okay, how much is G squared plus F squared minus C for option A? It is going to be 1 plus 1 minus, if you shift this 40 to the left hand side, it will acquire a negative sign. So that is plus 42. Is it equal to 49? No, it is not equal to 49. That is square of the radius. So ignore A. See, now if you go to option D, in option D also the constant term is negative 40. Okay, although its center is located in the first quadrant, we have already noted that g squared plus f squared is always going to be equal to 2. Yes. So if you compute g squared plus f squared minus c for option D, what will it turn out to be? Again 1 squared or 1 plus 1 minus of minus 40. Yes, so that is equal to 42, not equal to 49. So both A and D are incorrect. So then it boils down to the options B and C. Okay, we know that one of them is going to be the right option. So now we will not waste our time in finding the radius of the circle, because you will observe that the radius of these two circle or radius of circle in option B and in option C both are equal to 7 units. Okay, you can check it because of the number 47. So the question comes, which of these two circles has its center as the point of intersection of 2x minus 3y equal to 5 and 3x minus 4y equal to 7? The center of the circle in option B is 1, 1. Okay, let us check whether it lies on the first line. The center of the circle 1, 1, we already got that. First line is 2x minus 3y equal to 5. If you substitute the coordinates of the center of that circle which is there in option B in the L1's equation, you will find that the point does not lie on L1. 2 minus 3 is minus 1, which is clearly not equal to 5. Okay, which is the RHS of this equation. So B is not right because the center of the circle in option B does not lie on the first line. So the correct option is option C. Okay, that was the first method, wherein we first checked for the radius of the circle. It turned out that options A and D did not have the radius equal to 7, so we ignored them. And it also turned out that the center of the circle in option B does not lie on the first line, so it must be option C. Then the second method. I'm calling this textbook method because if you open any book which contains the solution of this MCQ, you will find a big solution such as this one. Okay, the textbook method is as follows. You go to the lines, okay, and you note from the problem that these lines are basically the diameters of the circle. So if these two lines are diameters, then the point of intersection of these two lines should be the center of the circle, correct? So if you solve the equations of these two diameters or lines simultaneously, you can use Cramer's rule or whichever method you are comfortable with, you will get the coordinates of the center. Okay, the coordinates are 1, minus 1. Then have we already computed the radius of the circle? Yes, we have, from the area. Okay, and radius is equal to 7 units. So then you can use the center radius form to get the equation of the circle. Okay, x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equal to 7 squared. Expand x minus 1 bracket squared, expand y plus 1 bracket squared, 7 squared 49. If you simplify that, when you shift these two ones to the other side, you will get 47, and this is the circle that is present in option B. Oh, sorry, not B, option C. Okay, minus 2x plus 2y 47, minus 2x plus 2y 47. So you may opt the second method as well, whichever is convenient to you. But the main purpose of solving these MCQs is that you should also learn how to eliminate the options, because sometimes elimination of the options takes considerably less amount of time compared with the actual solution or the intended way to solve the MCQ. Okay? Let's go to question 3 now. Question 3. Find the equation of the circle which passes through the points 2, 3 and 4, 5, and the center lies on the straight line y minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0, and we have 4 options. Again, I have solved this MCQ by eliminating the options. Okay, so what I have done is, in the very first step, I have written down the coordinates of the center or centers of the circles in options A, B, C and D. If you go to option A, minus G and minus F are 2 and 5 respectively. So coordinates of the center of the circle in option A are 2, 5. If you go to option B, you observe that this part is same. So the center of the circle in B is also 2, 5. If you go to option C, x coordinate of the center will be 2 and y coordinate will be minus 5. Yes. And if you go to option D, x coordinate will now be negative 2 and y coordinate will be 5. Correct? Now they are saying that the center lies on the line y minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0. So now what I will do, I will pick these 3 points 2, 5, 2, minus 5 and minus 2, 5. I will substitute the coordinates of these points in the equation of the line y minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0, and I will see which of these points lie or lies on the line. Okay, so let us start with 2, 5. If you substitute y as 5 and x as 2, you will find that 2, 5 lies on the line. Okay, y is 5, minus 4 into x coordinate of the center is 2, so y minus 4x is 5 minus 8 plus 3, the constant term in the equation of the line, and 5 plus 3, 8, 8 minus 8, 0. So now we have both options A and B as our contenders. Okay, if you now go to coordinates of the center of the circle in option C, 2, minus 5, you will find that the coordinates of this point do not satisfy the equation of the line. Okay, equation of the line is y minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0. Yes, y is minus 5 and x is 2. So minus 5 minus 8 is minus 13. Minus 13 plus 3 is minus 10, not equal to 0. So C is not right. And if you check for D, negative 2, 5, you will find that D also does not satisfy the equation of the line. Correct? Y coordinate is 5, x coordinate is minus 2. So 5 plus 8 will be 13, 13 plus 3, 16. So again not equal to 0. So C and D are ruled out. So it is either option A or option B. So from these options, it is now confirmed that the center of the circle is at the point 2, 5. Okay, now it is also known that the points 2, 3 and 4, 5, they lie on the circle. This is mentioned in the problem. Find the equation of the circle which passes through the points 2, 3 and 4, 5. ठीक आहे, हे दोन्ही पॉइंट्स त्या सर्कलवर लाय करतात. आता आपण सर्कलचं सेंटर काढलंय का? काढलंय. The coordinates of the center of the circle are 2, 5. Now you observe the following. X coordinate of the point 2, 3 is 2. Okay, and the x coordinate of the point 2, 5 is also 2. So can I now say that both these points lie on the line, the vertical line x equal to 2? Yes. Now if these 2 points lie on the vertical line x equal to 2, the distance between these 2 points will be 5 minus 3 or 2 units, isn't it? But one of them is actually the center of the circle and the other one is a point on the periphery or the circumference. So the radius of the circle has turned out to be 2 units. Yes. So from options A and B, we will now pick that circle or that option whose radius is equal to 2 units. Let's do that for A. What are the values of G, F and C? For both options A and B, G and F are equal to 2, but for A, constant term is plus 25 and for B, the constant term is minus 25. Okay. So for option A, how much will the radius be? Root of 2 squared plus 5 squared minus 25, because C was equal to 25 for option A. So G squared plus F squared minus C plus 25 minus 25 will go. Root of 2 squared is 2. If you do that for option B, where the constant term is negative 25, minus of that will be plus 25. So it will be 50 plus 4 or root of 54. Definitely not equal to 2. So option A. So even in this multiple choice question, we have used the data or the information given in the problem to eliminate the options. Okay, and in most of the problems, the elimination of the options, if at all it is possible, produces the solution in lesser amount of time than the conventional methods. Okay, let's now go to the fourth MCQ. Question number 4. The equation of the tangent to the circle x squared plus y squared equal to 4. These tangents are parallel to the line x plus 2y equal to 3 are A, x minus 2y equal to 2, B, x plus 2y equal to plus or minus 2 root 3, option C, x plus 2y equal to plus or minus 2 root 5, and option D, x minus 2y equal to plus or minus 2 root 5. Now if the tangents are parallel to this line x plus 2y plus 3 equal to 0, the slopes of the tangents should be negative 1 upon 2, which is the slope of this line. Now you observe that only options C and B have slope minus 1 upon 2. For options A and D, the slope of the tangent is minus 1 upon minus 2 or 1 upon 2. So here itself we have eliminated two of them, options A and D. Okay. Now to determine whether it is option B or option C, we are going to make use of this ready-made formula whose derivation is there in the textbook. Okay, and that is called as the condition for tangency. Or to put it in other words, when is a line tangent to the given circle? Okay. So this condition for the tangency says that, let us say we have the line y equal to mx plus c. Okay. So this is a tangent to the circle x squared plus y squared equal to r squared. So we are now taking those circles whose center is at origin. Okay. X squared plus y squared equal to r squared. If and only if, so this is a biconditional statement, c squared is equal to r squared m squared plus r squared. Do we know the radius of the circle r from the equation of the circle? Yes. 4 is r squared, so r must be equal to 2 units. Okay? Yes. Have we already determined the slope of the tangents? Yes. M equal to negative 1 upon 2. Yes. So let us now apply the condition for tangency to find the value of C. If you take r squared common from the right hand side, then C squared will be r squared into bracket m squared plus 1. Yeah, what I have done here is wrong. It should be c squared equal to r squared 4 into bracket m squared plus 1. How much is m squared? M is negative 1 upon 2, so m squared is 1 by 4 plus 1. okay, equal to 4 into 5 by 4 or 5. So C must be equal to plus or minus root of 5. Okay, then the moment you see C as plus or minus root 5, you should realize that it is definitely not going to be option B. Why? Because option B contains root 3. Correct? Is there any chance that you will get root 3 from root 5? Well, at least not this time. So C is root 5 and everything else is a rational number. So if C is plus or minus root 5, it cannot be B, so it must be option C. What I did here is something wrong. I did not realize it when I solved this sum. So instead of taking m squared, well, instead of taking r squared common, I took m squared common, okay, but still I got root 5 in the numerator, but this is wrong. C is not equal to plus or minus root 5 by 2. C is actually equal to plus or minus root 5. So here I have verified my so-called answer C with the help of the grapher. Okay, x squared plus y squared is our circle. You can see that it is passing through 2, 0 and minus 2, 0 as expected, because the radius of the circle is 2 units. The lines which are given in option C are x plus 2y equal to plus or minus 2 root 5. The white line is x plus 2y equal to 2 root 5 and the blue line is x plus 2y equal to minus 2 root 5. Okay, you may check this. The distance between this point and this point, which is also the distance between these two lines, is going to be the diameter of the circle. Yesterday when we solved the problems on lines, we had such a problem. What is the distance between these two lines, parallel lines? Okay, we already know that this time the distance is going to be the diameter of the circle. If the radius is 2, diameter is going to be 4 units. Okay, so this was the fourth sum. Let's go to fifth. Question 5. If the lines 3x minus 4y plus 4 equal to 0 and 6x minus 8y minus 7 equal to 0 are tangents to a circle, then find the radius of the circle. Option A 3 by 4 units, option B 4 by 3 units, option C 1 upon 4 units, and option D 7 by 4 units. The very first and perhaps the most important observation here is the lines in the problem are parallel to each other. Okay, yesterday we have discussed this. If the ratio of the coefficients of x and the ratio of the coefficients of y, if these two ratios are same, then the lines are parallel to each other. Okay, now if the lines are parallel, in this case if the tangents are parallel, then as I told you in the previous problem from the figure, the distance between those two lines will be equal to the diameter of the circle. Yes, so we are going to make use of the formula that we used yesterday, that is how to find the distance between two parallel lines. Okay, and to do that, if you remember, I had warned you to check that the coefficients of x and y should be same. See, it is not necessary for parallelism. For parallelism, the ratio should be same. Okay, for these two lines to be parallel. But if you are using the formula to find the distance between these two lines, then the coefficients must be same. Okay, so if you divide this equation by 2, then you will get 3x minus 4y minus 7 by 2 equal to 0. That is this equation. Then you can use the formula mod of c minus c dash upon root of a squared plus b squared. In our case, c is equal to 4, c dash is equal to negative 7 by 2, a and b are equal to 3 and 4 respectively. Rest is just simplification. 4 plus 7 by 2 is 15 by 2, the numerator. Denominator is root of 25, so 5. The diameter will then be 15 by 10 or 3 by 2 units. Remember, radius of the circle is half its diameter. So radius will be 3 by 4. Yes, that is option A. So this MCQ is based on the fact that if the tangents are parallel to each other, then the distance between them is equal to the diameter of the circle. Okay. Let's now go to the figure. You may notice that in this problem, they have not asked us to find out the center of the circle. The reason to that is as follows. Before I explain this figure, let me draw a circle and let me draw two horizontal tangents. Okay. Now, can I draw another circle with equal radius but different centers? Yes. In fact, there are infinitely many such possibilities for the center or the centers of the circles. Okay. Each and every point on a line which is equidistant from both these lines can act as the center of any circle. Okay, that is the reason why they have not asked us the center of such a circle, simply because there are infinitely many circles. Okay, but all of them have same radius, and that radius is equal to 3 by 4 units. Okay, and one of them is what you can see in the figure. Okay. Now, how did I construct this particular circle? First, I plotted the lines 3x minus 4y plus 4 equal to 0. If you let x to be 0 here in this equation, then y will turn out to be 1. Yes. So you can see that among the two pink lines, that line which makes positive y intercept is the first line. Okay. Then the second line is obviously going to be our 6x minus 8y minus 7 equal to 0. Yes. Then what I did, I found out the slopes of these two lines. Well, we already knew the slope. The slope is 3 by 4. Okay. Then what I did, I constructed a line which is perpendicular to both these lines. Okay. So that is y equal to minus 4 by 3x. So which gave me this green line here. I found out the coordinates of the points of intersection of the green line with these two tangents. Okay, and it turned out that the coordinates are minus 0.48, 0.64 for 1 and 3, and 0.42 comma minus 0.56 for the lines 2 and 3. Okay, then I found out the coordinates of the center of the circle by the midpoint formula. Okay, very simple. So once I obtained the coordinates of the center of the circle, I already knew the radius of the circle. Yes, radius is 3 by 4. So then I used the center radius form to construct the orange circle. Okay, x minus h, in this case negative 0.03, so plus 0.03 squared plus y minus k is 0.04, equal to square of the radius of the circle. Okay, but if I draw a line, or if we draw a line parallel to these two lines, okay, through the point negative 0.03 comma 0.04, then you will find that all these points will serve as centers of the required circles. Clear? Okay, so that completes our 5th MCQ. Let's go to 6th one. Very simple. Area of the circle whose center is at 1, 2 and passing through the point 4, 6 is. If the center is 1, 2 and the point is 4, 6, use the distance formula to find the distance between the center and the point. Okay, use the distance formula. It will be 4 minus 1 bracket squared plus 6 minus 2 bracket squared root. So that will be 5. Area is pi r squared or 25 pi. Question 7. If a circle passes through the point 0, 0, that is origin, a, 0 and 0, b, then find the coordinates of its center. Okay, so we have been given 3 points, 0, 0, a, 0 and 0, b. So the circle acts as the circumcircle. If we have 3 points a, b, c, then the circle, there is a unique circle which passes through all 3 of them, and we call the circle as the circumcircle of the triangle. Let us now come back to the points. Okay, you observe that the point a, 0 lies on the x-axis. I am calling this point as a. Then you observe that 0, b is a point lying on the y-axis, right? X coordinate 0. I am calling that point as b. So we have a and b lying on the circle. Yes, and at the same time this circle also passes through origin. Okay, so if we now have 3 points which pass through the origin, can I say that OA and AB are chords? Yes, in fact AB is also a chord. We will later on see that this is the diameter of the circle, correct? Now if OA and OB are chords, can we find the angle between them based on the given data? Yes. The segment OA is part of the x-axis, isn't it? Because A lies on the x-axis, and segment OB is a part of y-axis. And because x and y-axis are perpendicular to each other, OA must be perpendicular to OB. Yes. So if now we have a situation where 2 chords are perpendicular to each other, then the third chord must pass through the center of the circle. This is one of the properties of the circles that you have studied, perhaps in the 10th standard, right? So if we have OA and OB as the chords, and if OA is the x-axis and OB is the y-axis, then because x and y-axis are perpendicular to each other, AB should serve as the diameter. Now if AB is the diameter, then the midpoint of AB will be the center. Yes. So can we find the coordinates of the center of this circle by the midpoint formula? Definitely. Midpoint of what segment? AB. A चे coordinates आहेत a, 0 आणि B चे काय आहेत 0, b. Use the midpoint formula to get the coordinates of the center as a by 2, b by 2. That is option D. Okay? So we have completed the 7th question, but I would also like you to pay attention to the equation of the circle. Now how did I get the equation of the circle? I already knew the coordinates of the center of the circle. Yes, a by 2, b by 2, that's what we did here as part of the solution of the MCQ. But is it now possible to find out the radius of the circle? Yes, the simplest way to do that is find the distance between origin and the point a by 2, a by 2, because this is the center in point D, and 0 comma 0 is a point on the circumference of the circle. So if you do that, then the radius of the circle will turn out to be root of a squared by 4 plus b squared by 4. Okay, or it will be root of a squared plus b squared divided by 2. If you square it, then you will get a squared plus b squared divided by 4. So just in case if they ask you what will the radius of the circle be, then you will say the radius is going to be root of a squared plus b squared upon 2. Okay? Alright. So we have completed this problem, but I want to show you how this equation or the circle corresponding to this equation depends on the values of a and b. Okay, so let us see that graphically. Okay, so first what I have done is I have plotted these 3 pink points. Okay, 0 comma 0, a comma 0 and 0 comma b. Now currently the value of a has been set to 3.1, and that's why you can see that the point a lies on the positive x-axis. If I reduce the value of a and if it becomes 0, then both the points coincide, then along the negative x-axis. Okay? Same thing you can play with y or b. Okay, if you increase b, the point will move away from the origin along the positive y-axis. If you decrease b, the point will still move away from the origin, but this time along the negative y-axis. Okay? Then what I have done is I have plotted the line x upon a plus y upon b equal to 1. So I have now used the double intercept form to get the equation of this line, and remember this line is the diameter of the circle. Correct? So if I now change b or change a, we will go on getting different lines. Okay? Then I have plotted the center of the circle a by 2 comma b by 2, okay, which you can see here as the pink dot. Sorry, not pink, orange dot. Okay, so if you now change the values of a and b, the orange dot will move. Okay, but it will move in such a way that it always remains as the midpoint of the segment joining the points where the line meets the coordinate axis. Okay, and then at last the circle. The equation of this circle, which you can now see in the white color, is what we derived. X minus a by 2 squared plus y minus b by 2 squared is equal to a squared plus b squared divided by 4. Okay, so now you can see that the circle always passes through 3 points. Which 3? This one 0 comma b, this one 3 comma 0 or a comma 0, and the origin. Okay, no matter what values do a and b take, okay, the circle is always going to pass through those 3 points. Correct? So you can now build a very nice animation and understand it better. Okay, you can always see that the x and the y axis, due to their perpendicularity, give us 2 chords of the circle only when a and b are not equal to 0. So let's discuss what happens if b is 0. If b is 0, then the center of the circle falls on the x-axis, obviously. And if a is 0 and b is non-zero, then the center of the circle will fall on the y-axis. Okay, there. Currently it is at 0, 0.6. And if both are 0, well, then you will not have circle, you will have a point. You can now see the shrinking radius, yes, or circle. Yes. So the moment both a and b are 0, there is only one point which satisfies the equation x squared plus y squared equal to 0. That's why these 4 points have now coincided. Okay? Let's now go back to the slide. So we verified everything that we had proved here graphically. Okay? Let's now go to the next problem. This was 7th, so let's go to 8th. Question 8. The equation of a circle with origin as its center. So again, a circle centered at origin and passing through the vertices of an equilateral triangle whose median is of length 3a is. Okay. Now, when you say that you want to find equation of a circle, you always ask for two things. First is the coordinates of the center of the circle, and the second one is the radius of the circle. Now out of these two things, they have already given us the center, origin as its center. So the center of the circle is 0, 0. So it is the radius of the circle that is what we need to find. And to do that, we will take the help of the second part in the problem statement, passing through the vertices of an equilateral triangle. So again, this circle is acting as the circumcircle of the equilateral triangle. Okay? Yes. Now there is something else that is given in the problem. They are saying that the median of the equilateral triangle has length 3 into a. Okay? So now what I have done is I have drawn this figure here. This is the circumcircle that I was talking about. Okay, and I have deliberately picked point A or one of the vertices of the equilateral triangle on y-axis. Okay, so that the figure will be easier to interpret and understand. Okay, so the white triangle is our equilateral triangle. Okay, and obviously the circumcenter of this triangle is going to be at origin. It is given in the problem that the length of the median, let's call it AD, is equal to 3a units. Now equilateral triangle is a special triangle in the sense that its altitudes, its internal angle bisectors, its medians, and its perpendicular bisectors, all of them are coincident. Okay, so usually a triangle has 3 altitudes, 3 internal bisectors, 3 medians and 3 perpendicular bisectors, but it is only in the case of equilateral triangle where all of them coincide. So the altitude will be internal angle bisector as well as a median as well as a perpendicular bisector. Okay, so among these 4 or out of these 4, we are now going to make use of the fact that the perpendicular bisectors are same as the medians. Alright, so I have dropped a perpendicular from point A on the side BC. Okay, and according to the property of equilateral triangle, that perpendicular will also bisect the segment BC. Okay, so length of median is now length of AD. Let me show it here. So if this length is equal to 3a units, we also know that the circumcenter of the equilateral triangle is now also going to be the centroid, because if these 4 lines are coincident, then their points of concurrence will also be coincident. Altitudes meet at the orthocenter, internal angle bisectors meet at the incenter, medians meet at the centroid, and perpendicular bisectors meet at the circumcenter. So if it is an equilateral triangle, centroid, circumcenter, incenter and orthocenter, all of them coincide. Yes, so origin will serve now as the centroid of the triangle. Now comes the property that median is divided internally in the ratio 2:1 by the centroid, correct? So if the origin is the centroid of the triangle, then length of segment OA upon length of segment OD is 2:1. That is the property of median or centroid, isn't it? But you already know that the total length is equal to 3a. त्यांनी दिलंय प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये median is of length 3a. So we must have AO equal to 2a and OD equal to 1a. But we are now not interested in OD. We are more interested in OA because OA is the radius of the circle that we are looking for. So if the radius of the circle is 2a, can we find its equation? Very simple. Center already माहिती है. Center is at origin, so the equation will be x squared plus y squared equal to square of the radius. That is option C. Okay, because we have found out that the radius is 2a. If you square it, the square will be 4a squared. So option C. Yes, x squared plus y squared equal to 4a squared. That is option C. This was 8th MCQ. Let's go to the 9th one now. This is slightly difficult than all previous MCQs. This one and the last one. But let's solve them. Question 9. A pair of tangents are drawn to a unit circle. Unit circle means radius is equal to 1 unit. Okay, with center CNE, anyways, read it as center, with center at the origin and the tangents intersect at A, enclosing an angle of 60 degrees. So what information did we gather now? The center of the circle is at origin. Okay, then the angle between the tangents is 60 degrees. That's what we learned. Okay, now what they are saying, the area enclosed by these tangents, okay, again the positions of N and T have been interchanged, but anyways, you again read this as tangents. Okay, so the area enclosed by these tangents and the area of the circle is, okay. See, now when I solved this problem for the first time, or when I read this problem for the first time, I actually got confused by the last part. So they said, or they're saying, find the area enclosed by these tangents and the area of the circle. Now to be honest, I did not understand what this statement means or meant. Area enclosed by the tangents I can understand, like this, and the area of the circle, but I did not understand how can an area be enclosed by area of a circle. Okay, so it should have been some part of the circumference of the circle, like this one. Okay, so this is the circle. Okay, these are the required tangents, and perhaps they're asking us to compute this area. Okay, which is enclosed by the tangents as well as this particular arc of the circle. So now I have calculated that area. To solve this problem, if you are going to make use of coordinate geometry, that is going to help you. Okay, otherwise it will be difficult. So what I have done is, I have not only drawn the unit circle, but I have also considered the point. Okay, they're saying a pair of tangents are drawn. Okay, so these pair of tangents should be drawn from some point. So in the problem, the point is A. I have called that point as B. Okay, so B is the point from which two tangents have been drawn to the circle. Okay, now I have deliberately chosen this particular point B on the x-axis, because then we can make use of the symmetry. Okay, then what I did, as we are interested in finding this shaded area, it is essential to find the dimensions of this right angle triangle. Okay, the right angle triangle OAB, out of which OA is already known. The radius of the circle is 1 unit because it is a unit circle. Correct? Yes. So then the question which I had was how to find out the remaining two sides of the triangle. First thing is that radius OA is perpendicular to AB. So it is a right angle triangle. Yes, OAB. Now to determine these two angles, the central angle 60 degrees and the angle which AB makes with the x-axis, I made use of this fact or this data, this piece of information which was given to us in the problem, and that is the tangents intersect at A enclosing an area of 60 degrees. Okay, then I knew that if I join the point from which we are drawing the tangent and the center of the circle, then we are going to get two congruent triangles. Correct? If I call this point as F, then which two triangles will be congruent? OAB and OFB. Okay, then because of the congruence of these two triangles, I could conclude that angle ABO is equal to angle FBO. Okay, but what is the total angle here? Total angle is 60 degrees, angle between the tangents AB and FB. So if the total angle is 60 and x-axis acts as the angle bisector, each one of them should be equal to 30 degrees. Yes. So once we get this angle as 90 and angle ABO as 30 degrees, our job is done. Once you obtain the dimensions of triangle OAB, that is fine. Okay. Now comes the question of area. Now the required area, let me now highlight it in red color. The required area is this. Okay, which is bounded by the segments BA, BF and the arc of the circle OAF. Okay, whose measure is 120 degrees, the measure of the arc. So can I say that this area is equal to 2 times the area in the second quadrant? Yes, that is this one. Okay, and to find the area of or to find the required area in the first quadrant, what I did is I considered the area of the triangle OAB, and then from this area I subtracted area of the sector. What sector? Let me call this point as D. So area of the sector OAD. Okay. Now to find the area of the triangle, you need the base of the triangle and the height of the triangle. Okay. Now base of the triangle is the radius OA. Now how can you find AB? Because triangle OAB is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you can find all its dimensions very easily. So if OA is 1, you can check that AB is √3. Only then the diagonal will be 2, and you can see that here the x coordinate of B is -2. So the distance between points O and B is 2, so the hypotenuse is 2. So once you get the height of the right angled triangle, you can easily find its area, 1/2 into base into height minus. Now this is where you will need the formula that you learned in the 11th standard in the first chapter, angle and its measurement. That is area of the sector half r squared theta, where theta is the angle measured in the radians subtended by the arc at the center of the circle. Radius is 1. Yes. What is the angle? 60 degrees or pi/3 radians. And do not forget to multiply this area by 2. If you simplify it, 1/2 into 1 into √3 will be √3/2. 1/2 into 1 squared into pi/3 will be pi/6. Okay. Into 2. Take this 2 inside. It will cancel this 2 and it will make this 3. So it is root 3 minus pi by 3 square units, and that is option B. Okay, so it should have been square units, but anyways. Okay, so this is how I solved this problem. I had to get the equation of AB because I could plot it here on the grapher. Okay, so I've used a software to plot the lines AB as well as the circle, and for that, well, you need AB. You cannot just say that, okay, draw a tangent from this x-axis such that it makes an angle of 30 degrees with the x-axis. Okay, I cannot say that. So to do that, I made use of this equation, that is equation of AB. Okay, but nonetheless you can easily skip this particular process and get the required area. Okay, then let's go to the last MCQ. A simple one, but you need to do some thinking. Question time. The parametric equations of the circle x squared plus y squared plus mx plus my equal to 0 are. So from the equation of the circle you learn that it passes through origin because there is no constant term. Okay, and the circle is centered at negative m by 2, negative m by 2. What does it mean to find the parametric equations of the circle? It means you should express both x and y in terms of a new parameter, let's call it theta. Okay, even in the parametric differentiation you do the same thing. Alright, now equations of, or the parametric equations of this circle are very easy to find. X is a cos theta and y is a sin theta. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this equation. Okay, and I will try to bring it in this form. Okay, how? By completing the square. Okay, so keep x squared and y squared as they are. Write mx as 2 into m by 2 into x, and write my as 2 into m by 2 into y. Okay, now if you consider the terms x squared and 2 m by 2 into x, then you will find that if we add the square of m by 2, then we could write these three terms, which I have now highlighted in the white color, can be considered to be a single term, that is x plus m by 2 the whole square. I have done the same thing with y squared now, or y terms. Y squared plus 2m by 2y plus m by 2 squared. These three things can be clubbed together and we can write them as y plus m by 2 the whole squared. But because we added m by 2 squared twice to the left hand side, we should do the same thing to the RHS as well. And then this brings the equation of the circle in the form x plus m by 2 squared plus y plus m by 2 squared equal to m by root 2 the whole square, because m by 2 squared plus m by 2 squared will be m squared by 4 plus m squared by 4, so that will be 2m squared by 4, or m squared by 2. If you wish to write it as square of something, it must be m by root 2. Okay, now the next part. What I had said previously was our efforts should be on rewriting this equation in this form. Yes. So what I did next is this. I imagined that this is our x, this bracket, and this bracket is y. If we now have x squared plus y squared equal to m by root 2 squared, then x will be equal to radius into cos theta. Yes. And will y be equal to radius into sin theta? Again yes. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to simply shift m by 2 to the other side. So it will be negative m by 2, negative m by 2. Alright. So these are the parametric equations of the circle. A slightly different problem, but nonetheless worth solving. Okay, so I hope you understood all these things. X is negative m by 2 plus m by root 2 cos theta, and y is negative m by 2 plus m by root 2 sin theta. And if you go back to the options, it is only option A that includes those equations. Okay. The other thing about this problem is, this time when we solved this problem, we did not read the options. Okay. Option C is meaningless. X equal to 0, y equal to 0, that means only origin. Okay, so definitely no parameter is involved there. If you go to D, then you have x equal to m cos theta and y equal to m sin theta. So D represents parametric equations, or D represents this circle, x squared plus y squared equal to a squared, with a being equal to m. So D also cannot be right. Yes. So it then boils down to either option A or option B. The other thing which you may have observed here is the coefficients of x and y are same. What are they? M and m. Okay, so if that were the case, then you definitely cannot have negative m by 2 for x and positive m by 2 for y. Okay, if at all B were the correct option, then the first term should have had the same sign. Okay, or these two terms should have been identical, but in this case they don't have the same sign. We have negative m by 2 and here we have positive m by 2. So option A. So you can even solve this question by eliminating the options. That's what we did later. First we solved this example analytically. Correct? So option A. Yes. So we have now completed 10 multiple choice questions on circles. In the next session we are going to solve MCQs on conic sections.